The Real History of Vampires, Chapter 2. Humanity suffered under the control of the vampires, forced to give up their blood in exchange for their lives. Their very life essence was slowly sucked from them, even if fangs were not involved. The vampires were content at first. The young ones tried to entice humans into bars while they danced and drank bloody cocktails. Vampire families shopped, while others enjoyed the countryside and trained Labradors to teleport, an old vampire tradition. In London, there were one or two unfortunate incidents involving wrong orders, garlic bread, and a sudden loss of immortality. Malicious intent was suspected by the vampires, so they made examples out of some and identified the main source of garlic in England. The spotlight moved to the small Yorkshire town of Quifley, which was home to the richest garlic deposits in England. Some Quifley families had mined the cloves for generation upon generation. Bill Fossil, the mayor of the town, had worked at the mine for almost 40 years before he retired and became the landlord of the local pub. When the vampires identified the Quifley problem, they descended on the area in large numbers. They closed the mine and locked down the road. A few older miners walked up to the mine entrance, but were quickly met by some polite but firm vampires who informed them the mine was closed due to a cave-in. In the big cities, the vampires ruled, but there was space for the quick and alert to avoid them, even if the weak and infirm didn't last long. In rural, close-knit communities, vampires were harder to avoid, and with the large numbers of vampires in a small Yorkshire town like Quifley, nerves were particularly strained. In Quifley, secret meetings were held at night by the humans, in secluded areas they thought were safe. They were careful not to be seen, but the vampires watched from a distance and saw everything. Bill tried to quell the rising tension and avoid an escalation in hostilities, but he couldn't hope to contain the anger of some of the young men for long. Tensions continued to rise in the town, and scuffles broke out on several occasions. A few days later, a garlic clove was found in a spot known to be frequented by vampires, and although it was removed without the vampires finding out about it, the next day, an event occurred that changed everything. The Duke of Norfolk was walking his Labrador, Binky, when disaster befell him. It was an event that was to have profound repercussions.